Okay, so this is my 20-time project. So these are some pictures of me. These are some pictures of me horseback riding because I've been riding since I was in grade 2. So this is when I was in grade 2, and then these are this year. So this is when I was preparing for the dressage show, and this is just me practicing my dressage tests at home. And then this is my coach, Kirsty, and she was giving me feedback on my dressage tests practice. So this is just me riding through my dressage test, just to practice and to memorize it, because when you go in to compete, you're not allowed to have a collar or anything. So these are just more pictures of me practicing. And we set up a dressage ring, so it's like a rectangle, and you ride inside the rectangle. And so there's letters on the outside of the rectangle. So this is a dressage test. And at each letter, it would tell you to do different exercise. And then you get a mark out of 10 for how you did. And so this was when we were practicing, and my coach just kind of did it so I could know what to work on. And so all dressage tests end with you entering the arena at A, so that's at the top. And then you exit at A as well. So A, you also exit. And an X, in the middle of the dressage ring, is when it's called a salute. It's when you stop your horse and you bow your head. And then this is us going, and this is my friend Anna, and our car was so full that she had to sit with holding buckets because there's no room. And then before you trailer your horse, you have to wrap their legs, and that's just to give them support in the trailer, especially along ride, because there's an Edmonton and Beaumont, a long trailer ride. So then this is just me getting ready to leave and waiting for the trailer to come together. And then this is us going in the trailer. And this is the night before the competition in Beaumont, and we were just practicing. And that's my coach, Liam. So another one is there because Kirsty couldn't come. And before you go, you have to braid your horse's mane. And you have to bobble it, so you braid it and then you roll it up. And you have to braid their forelock, which is the hair on their forehead. So this is just us getting ready. And before you go, you have to compete, you have to get a tack check. And it's where they look at your horse's tack and make sure that there's no like pointy edges anywhere on like your bit, which is in your horse's mouth, that you're all safe. And then this is me riding my dressage test. And then I got third, so that's it. And then this is just one picture. This is my horse rolling in her stall after she got her braids taken out.
Third place, well done. Is it still broadcasting?
Is it broadcasting right now?
It is.
Oh,
Everybody can hear everything. Is anybody watching? I don't know. Can you check?
Any person is watching.
Or can we find it? Yourself. So you know.
Oops.
Just get back. Okay. I didn't mean to press that quick button. One second.
Was it working fine?
No,
So sad.
Is this on the
I'm
block?
printing. Something there. I don't know.
You can press stop.
Okay,
Nothing happened.
okay, Emily.
This is my 20-time project. It is called Ally for the Suffering. And it is a project that uses Twitter to help inspire others to stop pausing and, more importantly, walking by. So the reason it doesn't go on a straight path is because this wasn't a straight path for me. So you can see that this is like a road, and it sometimes goes forward and sometimes goes backwards. So this is just some pictures of my 20time account. This was from a little while ago, actually. And that's just my profile and other stuff. That's all my images. And yeah, next one, please. All right. So the first stages of my project was the proposal. And I had an initial idea, and it was to create a Facebook account. And I was going to create a website that would be posted around now. And it was going to have a Google form, and people were going to submit what they did to help end animal cruelty. And I was going to use all those ideas, post them on a website, and then I was going to make the website public. And so there you see some of my inspiration. There's my 3 cats, Cheerio, Applejack, and Shreddy, and one of the horses I ride. So next, please. All right, so that kind of failed. So I started Twitter because Facebook was not working out for me, because I thought Twitter would be easier. So there you see, what's his name? The government guy. Justin Trudeau. And Mayor Nenshi. And those are some of the people I tweeted at to try and gain publicity. And so my first tweet was just about, hey, I'm a grade 8 student and I'm doing a project. And so I tweeted it at Nenshi, and he got some retweets. And I think it was kind of because he felt sorry for me. Let's just ignore that part. And that poem there, it's a poem, the first poem I made. And it didn't have much publicity, but I put a lot of work into it. The first copy of that poem I did was really dark and really depressing, so everyone hated it. And so I edited it, and it's less dark and depressing now, but still fairly. And so it's kind of just hanging out on my Twitter feed now. Okay, next please. So then I kind of paused for a while because I wasn't getting retweets from anyone, and I wasn't gaining publicity. So I kind of was just like, okay, time to persevere. So I kind of just hung out in the family friends are following you, people who feel sorry for you are following you area. And then next, please. And then I'm just going to talk a little bit about me and what inspired me to do this project. There you will see me jumping one of the horses I ride. So horse riding is a sport. Thank you, everyone, for that. There you see my cat on my lap. He is a great inspiration. And in the corner, you'll see a black cat. And that black cat means a lot to me because he's not my cat, but I saw him in my backyard, and for 2 hours I chased him, like trying to get him because he was a stray or a lost pet. And we finally got him, and we took him to a vet clinic. And so that really inspired me because I know a lot of people would just walk by it or ignore the cat, and I just wanted to change that. So next, please. These are just some of the things I tweeted because I adopted a new strategy, which was follow other people and like their posts, and then they'll follow you back and they'll like your posts back. So here you see some of the things. The top ones are stuff that I retweeted, I did not make. That one is about pit bulls, because pit bulls are a breed of dog that nobody really wants to adopt because they were bred for fighting, but a lot of them are not fighting today. Yeah, and the bottom ones I made. So the bottom 2 pictures were from a thing I call the Week Against, which is where I posted 3 quotes a day for a week with background pictures. And just so you know, the middle one, my cat is not dying, he is suntanning. And the last one is a poem that I made. So next, please. This is more recently. So the top one is a Week Against. That one's a petition I signed about canned hunting, which is basically where there is a small area where they keep a lot of large cats, and people pay to go in there, and they're guaranteed to get to kill a cat, and they're guaranteed to get to have a trophy, which I'm really against. And under it, you'll see another one I signed, which is the Yulin Meat Eating Festival, and that is where dogs and cats are kept in tiny cages in a place in China called Yulin, and they're eaten for meat. And that's not good. And the other bottom ones are from a week against the swell. Next, please. So this is more recently. The top one is a photo, and it looks innocent enough, but the thing is, you haven't seen behind the scenes and what they do to get that animal to perform like that. The middle one is one I made using a photo that I knew I had reuse for. And the top two ones are animals that have been abused and that are in preparation. So you see the top one, it's where they're cutting the cat's nails, but they're cutting it too far up. So it's like cutting up here on a human. The top one, someone duct taped around the mouth and made the nose actually like that in real life. And then that's how the dog looks right now. I'm sorry. And I just think that everyone should follow at least one account because so many people don't actually know about the horror of how it is. I'm sorry. It's just that it's been going on for a long time. And it's hard for me to do stuff like that. So I'm sorry.
Being emotional just shows you're real about it.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's just, it's hard.
Don't apologize.
Next one, please. So that was kind of my motto throughout the whole thing. And then there's one more slide. And so that was a story about a teacher who found a kitten in the bag, too young to be away from its mother. And she took it to its home and adopted it and raised it. And I just hope that in the future that everyone will be like that. Thank you.
Big heart, Emily. Sorry.
That was so
It was
good.
good. Yeah.
It's me, Emily. Okay, Logan.
Oh, well, good.
Where are you gonna put that?
I
Like,
showed it.
Put it on the floor.
that was so
Can you
sad.
tilt the computer screen down so you can see that?
I will go. Or maybe we should
Put it here.
Perfect. Be careful, Sid.
we'll adjust, Logan, so that you can put it on the ground and we can see it.
Just go down.
Scenario.
And we'll go like that. And then
Okay, so this is my project. I decided to build something. I love building things. I love working with my hands, so I decided that I could build a snowblower or something. I decided to fit it that to a RC vehicle. There are many versions of this design. We had many kind of issues designing the cage right here. And we eventually came up with this design so that the blower would not move or become separated from the cage. We decided to put it in the back of the vehicle because that would improve traction on icy or slippery surfaces the vehicle is to drive. This was just a test for the blower pipe. It was run from the blower to the front bumper where there was a pre-drilled hole. And we ran that through the blade. Again, there were no holes needed to be drilled, and we were trying to think of something that we could use for the blade that would, move snow and it could be easily cut or shaped. And we ended up using a 15-inch long piece of dryer pipe that we just cut in half. We had to design a special camera mount, so the camera would sit high enough above the blade so that you wouldn't just be looking at the blade. And also there wasn't a very firm mounting point to the vehicle, so we decided to build a custom mount for it. This is just a test of the light kit in my garage, and it is just mounted to the outside edges of the blade. This is just a video. Okay, that's all.
Well done. Okay, so we can just move everything back if someone wants to do that for me, and we'll get Will set up here.
Okay, just go.
Everybody wants.
Right here.
So,
I'll just move it to the top corner of the desk.
We have 0 viewers, Miss Alvin.
this
Is the little black thing on the side down is forward? You can test it out once I get here.
Miss Alvin, what are you using to stream this?
Google Hangouts.
Oh, there's 0 viewers.
Yay!
Yeah.
okay.
Three.
Nice.
But we shouldn't do that.
They're all.
Hello everyone, my name is William Lynn, and I'm here to present my project, my 2010 project. It's called The Children's Book of a Nation. My original idea. So my original idea was that I would actually ship shoes to a Ghanaian shoemaker, and this would actually help lower his costs, because what he does, he strips the shoes of their cloth, and he just takes the soles. He puts nice African fabrics and cloths over them, so it makes a regular Converse into a really cool looking shoe. So, but later on, it didn't really fly because shipping and collecting the shoes would have been a huge task. And to be honest, I didn't even know that shoemaker's name was, so it wouldn't have gone far. So, what influenced this idea? This idea got influenced because in the markets there's not that many tourists due to Ebola, because you can see here how Ghana is, well, if you could see, is at highest risk of importation in the whole world. So no one wants to go to Ghana because at that certain time, because you can see how from October 2014 to November 2014, it was a huge spike of West Africa. So just in as little as a month, Ghana could be engulfed in Ebola. So no one wanted that. So that means markets fell. And due to that, shoemakers and local artisans couldn't make any more money because they relied on tourism to support their business. So other ideas after this one was that I would make a Canada book, but it would be version 1. This one is version 2. But that didn't really go because it was just I found it wasn't really, it was an okay book, but it didn't provide that much knowledge and education, which I really wanted, because my whole goal of this project was to help Canadian people either in libraries or through shoes. So then another one was a book of poems, but then I realized halfway through it, it's a little hard to find a whole lot of Canadian poems after a while. So the story of Osu Children's Libraries. So from bottom right to top right is Kathy Knowles. She's this she's one of the top 25 transformational Canadians. And what happened is she went to Ghana with her husband, who's actually my uncle, she's my aunt. And they went to Ghana and they started, well, my uncle, he had to go there due to mining, and because it was called the Gold Coast before it became Ghana, or at least the region was. So it was known for its mining. So, but what my aunt realized is that there's so many kids in the local neighborhood who wanted to get a good read in and wanted to learn something. So then that's how it started, under a tree in her garden in 1989. So a book is dedicated to her, and it's called The Library Tree, and it's from Sipoa Cowley. And yeah, she's a great friend of my aunt's. But basically, in the garden, there's so many kids that they had to expand. So this was just from like a occasional, like maybe twice a week thing, to a full-on job. So so they made their first shipping container. And by the way, at the very, very top right corner, you can see there's this person, and her name is Joanna Philly. And she's one of the first people who worked alongside my aunt, even at the start, even when it was under the garden and under the tree. So she's very influential, and she's still working for Osu Children's Libraries and Osu Children's Fund. But yeah, it couldn't be like local libraries couldn't be a thing without her. So after the shipping containers, they invested in faraway countries such as the Philippines, because they realized that not only did Ghana or local African countries, just as Tanzania, needed higher literacy rates, so do countries as the Philippines. But so they kept on going, and now that's their new library that they built, and many are soon to come. And they've also made one for the blind. So how many libraries do you think they've made just in Africa?
63.
They've actually made over 200 just in Africa. Just single-handedly, Osu Children's Libraries have contributed and sponsored and made over 200 libraries. So that's the story. And this is Kathy Knowles' achievements. So, as I said earlier, she's named one of the top 25 transformational Canadians, being accompanied by David Suzuki and Rick Hansen. And Rick Hansen is the guy who went across Canada, and David Suzuki's like the Majors, David Suzuki, that TV show. So, and then these are her books, because she's also an author and a really good illustrator, photographer. So in 2016, Nana and Me received an honor award from the African Children's Book Jury, because it was just a great book. And just alongside Nana and Me, there's multiple books that she's created. But the best series of books that, when you think of my aunt, Kathy Knowles, are what is called the rainbow books, but it's where each color is specifically has its own book. So it's like my orange book, my yellow book. And this has helped advance her libraries and help teach kids or adults to learn how to read. She's also earned the YMCA Peace Medallion, the Governor General Medallion, and the Order of Manitoba. And another Order of Manitoba recipient is Jonathan Taves. So she's in good company. So how many awards do you think she has?
7.
Okay, that's a little too much. She has 15 awards, but many awards are soon to come. So how I came up with the idea and what helped pursue it. So my book that I came up with is called Amazing Beautiful Canada, the ABCs of Canada. And when I was talking about Osu Children's Libraries, I was thinking of what can I help, right? How can I help? So what I did is I realized that I originally started to think that maybe I should make a club, but that was too, shooting for the moon. So I decided to make a book because I thought, why not send a book about Canada, Ghana? Because Kathy Knowles hasn't made a book about Canada, nor have she's probably talked about it, but maybe the kids don't know what Canada is, and how it's geography of it, which is the basis of the book. So and what helped me pursue it is my realization of thinking that most kids in Africa and in less developed countries are not literate, and they need to know how to read, because what we take for granted in LA is something really prized in Africa. So my book, Amazing Beautiful Canada, and it comes with geography places like Alberta, BC, Heller, Jasper National Park, and the Klondike. So I'll pass this around. So what I'm doing is, that's actually the prototype, and it's gonna get shipped and produced in Canada to some of the libraries in Ghana. So, but I couldn't get that in time because all the ideas juggling around my head were a little bit too much. So, so basically, challenges and lessons. Challenges is cost and time. That was the biggest. And example of this would be cost of the shoes and time to ship. And shipping is the other challenge. And for lessons, don't leave the project to last minute. Have determination to stick with a plan. Have courage and have fun. That's what I forgot halfway through. But plan, and if something doesn't work, yes, you might have determination, but it's only so that you know that you're going to go with a certain plan. But if that plan has flaws in it, move on. So that is my 2010 project. Thank you for listening.
Is your book just like geographical things, or is it also?
Well, what I try to focus on is I actually, what I did is I made a book about geography, but I explained it. So it's around 53 pages.
Oh.
So basically what it is there's this image on the right side of the page. So, and then on the left side of the page is what's describing about it. So let's say about Alberta, I'll talk about how big it is, population, when it was made, or established. And so that it's not just like a picture book, it's actually more knowledgeable. And so that not only children can read it, but so, yeah.
Knowledge.
Well done, Will. Where's the book? Good job.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we did the wrong dollhouse first, and so this is just a picture of the Calgary location. And they can keep a couple, not a whole lot, I think it's like 23, 17-ish families per night. And then this is our goal, and it was to raise money and awareness for the actual house. Because they still need everyday needs to help support those people. The other people are spending money a lot trying to get their kids taken care of at the hospital. This is just a quote from Albert Einstein. So life is like riding a bicycle to keep your balance and to keep moving. So even though there's like some hard times because your kid is at the hospital and they have to be there, you have to make sure that you keep like pushing through and have determination. So this, Amazing Race. For our first fundraiser, we used Talia's birthday party as an opportunity to get money. And so for my birthday party last year and this year, last year I donated to the food bank, so we collected donations to donate to the food bank. So this year for a 2010 project, we had a good idea to do it for the Ronald McDonald House as I did it last year. It's just a birthday cake because I turned 13, which is my 15th birthday. So for McDonald's, it's called the Ronald McDonald House, and a couple times a year they do this thing called McHappy Day, and that is when every like Big Mac or something they'll donate $1, and that's I don't know how much we raised this year, but that helps raise money. And the Alberta Children's Hospital is the closest hospital to the Ronald McDonald House. In fact, it is just like across the street. Here's my map. So this is the Ronald McDonald House, and that's the Children's Hospital.
So it's really easy for parents to go there so they can be really close to their child, so they don't have to.
Because this is the Alberta, so if they live in like Medicine Hat or Edmonton, and they want to go to the Children's Hospital, they don't have to stay too far
They
away.
don't have to stay in an expensive hotel, because usually hotels are.
So this costs around $25 a night. 12. It goes kind of depends on how long they're staying there and how many people they have, but it's between 12 and 25. And so this is for my birthday. It wasn't actually that much money. I was just a picture of a picture. We raised around $400.
I brought in 20, so.
And so a lot of my parents' friends at work help donate too. But supposedly, if we bring it, well, we're gonna bring it there, I think on Saturday or something. And when we do bring it, since we're youth, apparently it can be doubled. So they'll double our donation. So that's why we want to kind of hand deliver it to just donate online. And
So through Twitter, we were able to talk about our ideas and gain followers and kind of raise awareness for the idea that they stand
so
for.
this was like the awareness part.
Yeah.
And then the birthday was kind of like the fundraising part. They donate. Yeah.
There's that much